Welcome to HKB. Today we're looking at New York Ninja, released by Vinegar Syndrome.
Here at Hong Kong Blu-rays, we like to look at all manner of movies from Hong Kong, all releases on Blu-ray, and we also like to have a little look at some things a little bit beyond Hong Kong, maybe affiliated, or it may be something that, tickles our fancy of cult cinema, whatever we like. And we hope you enjoy all that we do. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and please, subscribe. And the one thing we always ask of everybody is if you could please hit that like button, that little thumbs up that you give us, that helps us to get noticed on YouTube. I know we keep saying this, but if you can pick one way to help us, that would be it. And that will help us get noticed more, which will eventually lead to us getting monetized. And our pledge to you is that once monetized, everything will be plowed back into the channel. So hopefully we can give you better quality videos, better episodes, and eventually somewhere down the line we'd like to be able to give away copies of films that we review. So you want to see that happen, hit that like button, and also if you want to go a little bit further, maybe share us on social media or give us a little review if you like what we do. Thank you very much.
So, New York Ninja was originally filmed in 1984, but due to problems with the production company, it was never completed at the time, and it's been sort of sat dormant all these years until Vinegar Syndrome took the film and made it into what they've now released.
Yes, I believe they acquired it 2018, I think, and it was just part of a batch of films reels that they were sold. They didn't know what it was at the time, just saw New York Ninja on a tin, and the company bought it from said, "Oh yeah, we'll check this out if you like." And they said, no, we'll have it. And they thought they'd have it. This lost John Liu movie. And apparently it was in quite a state when they got hold of it. For those of you that don't know, the film was never completed. So all they had was reels and reels of film. They just had the picture. There was no sound, and originally they couldn't get hold of a script. Nobody had a script for this.
And a lot of the scenes weren't completed, so it wasn't clear in what order things were meant to be in, or couldn't really gather what the storyline really was. They just had all of the pictures.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that. You're just given all these random scenes, possibly out of order, an incomplete film, and you get all these scans, and you got the biggest jigsaw puzzle in the world. How do you put that together? What an ambitious project. And I think Vinegar Syndrome, Kurtis Spieler, and name him because he's the guy that did the redirection of it. So
yes.
originally John Liu was the director.
Yes, as well as the star. I think he did the production as well, didn't
He did production and
Fight choreography.
So he was pretty much like Jackie Chan was back in the day. He one man with many hats on. And I think his vision of what they were filming was different to what the production company was. So there was like two different stories, one that John was making and one that was supposed to be being made. And then along comes Kurtis Spieler and tried to forge a complete film out of all these jigsaw pieces. And give them a little rundown, Shaz, of the synopsis a la Kurtis Spieler.
So, it focuses on John Liu, his wife, who's just let him know that she's expecting their baby, witnesses an abduction of a lady by a gang, and the gang see her and kill her, unfortunately. So obviously John's very traumatised by this, and decides to put his ninja skills to good use by going after the gang. There's also a sort of side story with a plutonium killer, which is a bit far out.
Yes, there's many elements in this film, and of course nobody knows how they were supposed to gel together.
Yeah.
But what has been done is an awful lot of fun. So, Vinegar Syndrome, congratulations on doing what you did. We take our hat off to you. Fantastic job.
When we watched New York Ninja, we thought we'd write down some keywords for change to give us pointers to mention in our review.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we get to the end of filming and we're like, oh, we missed this, oh, we missed that. And there's a particular lot we want to talk about in this one. So hit it, Sharon. Let's go with the first one.
Okay. Back and forth.
Yes. There was a lot of scenes of acting in this one that were a little bit questionable, but they all add up to the charm of the movie. Little things like when John Liu is angry and for some reason he's walking back and forth between a post, like bumping into it, bumping back. It looked like one of those old Atari video games where ping, pong, ping. That was quite amusing, wasn't it?
And then he did a big high jump at the end.
Yes, high jump with splits.
Yeah. Okay, next one is matchstick retaliation.
Yeah, I really laughed at this scene. There's a scene where he's wants to light some candles and he goes to blow out the matchstick and talk about I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. It took him 3 blows to put the matchstick out, which kind of shows that they were taking everything in one shot.
Yeah, they seem to be. One shot, one take.
Yeah.
That's all they did. They didn't retake.
They weren't retaking, were they? It's
the
like
match not being blown out.
Let's do it. Let's move on.
Next one is self-harming.
Yeah, there was a couple scenes in this film where John, when he was angry or grieving, like a broken picture frame of him and his wife after she's died, and he's grabbing the broken glass, bleeding.
Yeah.
And then there was another bit where he grabs his sword just before he goes out for action, and he grabs it so tight and runs his hand across it till he bleeds all over it.
Yeah.
Odd choices, but good choices, because they fit the craziness of this film. And I do like the bit where he's grabbing the sword. I think that bit looks a little bit more genuine,
Yeah, than grabbing the glass.
Yeah, he looks a little bit more emotional there. I bought into that one a little bit more.
Next one is River Carter.
Yeah, we like this scene, don't we? It's kind of on the title screen as well as in the film, and it's just got John underneath the bridge at New York, right by the riverside, and he's just doing some martial art moves all by himself. Like a little bit of cat over the sword and his kicks. I thought that was a really striking scene.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? Yeah, him just doing his thing and John doing his thing. Fantastic.
Next one is get your skates on or off. This is crazy. We didn't notice it the first time, did we?
No, we didn't. Not till we watched the commentary, or the film with the commentary, and Kurtis Spieler pointed it out. There's a ninja on roller skate scene, which is it's okay. I feel like he was copying Jackie Chan in Big Brawl or Winners and Sinners a little bit, but he didn't quite have, whoever was on skates was no Jackie Chan. And there was a bit where they somersault over a car, and clearly at that point there's no skates on, and when they land they've got skates on. And they decided to keep this in, and I think it's a good choice because, we didn't even notice, to be fair, when we were watching it. Not until they pointed it out, but I guess they've scanned in the film, they've rewatched it, they're going to notice it. But I'm glad, because I like the flip. Flip was awesome.
Yes it was. Okay, Death Wish.
Yes, we mentioned that just a little bit, and there are definite overtones of Charles Bronson's Death Wish in this. It's got that vibe where you got out the gangs that are terrorizing, they're attacking women. Might not be quite so strong as Death Wish, but it could have been, as we saw in some of the deleted scenes. But definite strong overtones of that. And John Liu playing John Liu is a bit like Charles Bronson playing Paul Kersey in the Death Wish film.
Clark Kent or Batman?
Yeah, it's a little debate for us. Do you want to run through that scene? You're the Superman fan.
So John's in a car with his reporter colleagues and he sees the gang. So he's like, oh, I'm going to go and get some food. So the people stay in the car and see this gang. I think they were attacking some people at that point, weren't they?
Yeah.
What's no good. And so he quickly changes into his, you don't see this, but you know, he's changed into his ninja outfit, and then he's beating up all of these gang members, and then after it's all over he goes back to the car, you know, ninja clothes off, and he just says, oh, anything happened? Did he say anything happened whilst I was away or something? And
did I miss anything?
Yeah, and they were like, yeah, and it just sort of struck me of, you know, Superman, Clark Kent, where...
Yeah, very, very Christopher Reeve, like when he turns up at is it Niagara Falls in Superman 2? And Lois like, yeah, you missed everything, Clark.
Yeah.
And to me as well, I'm the Batman fan out of the two of us, and I thought with these gadgets and fighting the gangs, reminded me of Michael Keaton playing Batman for the first time in Batman, you know? Had a little bit of that vibe to me, both 80s, and both gadgets and filled and, you know, fighting gang members. Next one, shall.
Interesting. Reverse burlesque.
Yes, this did amuse me, and again, it's highlighting the quickness of the takes and moving on. There's a little bit of a fight scene, and when John sort of punches somebody, his glove, like, you know, slides forward on his arm, and he's like, pulls it back. Rather than putting it on, he's doing the anti-burlesque.
Yeah,
and
rather
putting
than
his glove
taking it
on.
off, he's pulling it on.
But, you know, to be fair to him, somehow he makes it look stylish.
Yeah. It doesn't look...
It doesn't look out of
to
place.
me.
It doesn't look out of place.
Like, does it like in a ninja way.
Yeah.
Okay. Times Square, Twin Towers.
Yes, this is, you know, this highlights what a time capsule this film is. You know, you get lots of scenes of New York back in the 80s, and you've got the Twin Towers there in the background. What a great backdrop for this film.
The cinematography, the angles and things, I did notice there's lots of scenes where you can see the New York skyline in the background, and it was all just really stunning, I thought, how it was done.
Yeah, they were there front and centre, and yeah, it was nice to see, and I like, you know, as they're going along the cinemas at night, and you can see like Ninja 3 the Domination's on, like, so that was like really, really cool to have a little, it's like getting in your DeLorean, isn't it? Go back in time, have a little look. Yeah, we enjoyed that a lot.
Where's my gun?
Yeah, a bit of continuity error there. There's one rooftop fight scene, and one of the members of the gang that John's fighting against, whilst in ninja regalia, has a gun against him, and walking him along, and then in the next scene they're walking along and there's no gun, and the fight continues. So you get little errors like that in this film, but I feel they hadn't finished filming, they didn't know which way they were going to go. So, you know, you can either piece it together and miss out all these scenes, or piece it together and just go with it. And, you know, we were quite able to go with it. It didn't hurt us. It didn't hurt our enjoyment of the film.
Not at all.
It was fun, you know, and spotting part of these continuity errors is part of fun watching this film, I feel.
But it could also be, in fairness, it could also be that Vinegar Syndrome, when they were piecing it together as best they could, it might have been that they couldn't show that one bit for whatever reason, or like say maybe it was never filmed, so they had to go from one bit to the next.
Yeah, well, there was quite a few scenes, especially in the outtakes, where he was like disarming somebody with a gun. It looked like it was every 10 minutes and somebody was pulling a gun and he was disarming them. So maybe that was one of the gun disarmaments that we didn't get to see. So fair dues.
For whatever reason, Perfect Bullet.
You know this one.
I think I sort of spotted it first.
Yeah.
So John is shot whilst he's being the ninja, and he goes back to his place and manages to ease the bullet out, and it was like a perfect bullet that looked like it hadn't been fired. I don't know, would it not have a bit of damage on it if it had hit somebody?
Well, it wouldn't be whole, that's for sure.
No, I don't know anything about bullets, but...
And he prized it out without getting any blood on it. That's quite impressive, yeah.
Okay, oh no, red Speedos.
This...
Or were they Speedos?
This made me uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, probably John wanting to show off that he's got like 0% body fat, which you can clearly see. The scene in question, he takes this young boy who he makes friends with fishing. The boy fishing with a fishing rod, and then John comes along and he's tiniest of red pants with like a old-fashioned fishing spear, sticking his face in the sea and trying to...
He sort of grabs the fish, catches the fish between the sticks.
And yeah, well, what did you think? Did you enjoy that scene? Did you think those pants were...
No, it was a bit uncomfortable. Like you say, you're sort of like, oh my gosh, are those pants like going to get washed off him in the sea?
Yeah, they did look like they were just hanging on for dear life. And when he's talking to the lad, and the lad's got a bigger fish, and John's got a small fish, I was just praying he didn't say, hey, look, yours is bigger than mine. So yeah, a little bit of humour to be found in that scene, but you know, game on to him. I wouldn't have the guts to be seen in those pants.
Okay, Ninja Kids.
That was great. I found that a lot of fun. There was a scene where they needed rescuing, and all these kids in the I Love New York Ninja t-shirts
came along. Cool.
So, yeah, a lot of fun.
And dressed up as ninjas as well.
Yeah, some of them were the ninja outfits. Obviously got spoiled on the birthdays.
Man, you're straight out of a comic book.
This I put down because they kind of mentioned that the film may have had like a sort of comic book sort of feel. And with the villain that comes into it, that we'll talk about in a little bit, you know, there are some aspects that very much feel like comic book style. It's a question that would be there for the ages. Was it meant to have a comic book feel, style to it? It does seem like it fits. But you know, you guys decide for yourself. If you've got this film, get in this film or interested, if you see it, let us know what you think.
Elton John, Ginger Lynn.
Right, okay, so this is two of the characters in the film. The Elton John that I'm referring to is the plutonium killer. And you can quite clearly see why I said Elton John.
Yeah, the glasses he's wearing.
And the haircut a little bit.
Yeah,
That's a little bit Elton John, you know, when he's like leaning out the car. I just expected him to start singing, I wanna kiss the bride. But fortunately he didn't, or unfortunately. And I was quite surprised to find that John's wife in the film that gets killed off at the beginning, and that's no spoiler, it happens right at the beginning. She was voiced by the adult film star of the 80s, Ginger Lynn Allen. So, you know, they got her for this film. They've obviously Vinegar Syndrome released some of her films, so that was quite good use of actress, you know, did a good job. And it's just a really interesting piece of information. I thought it was good.
Elijah Wood or Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah, there's a guy that drives around Plutonium Killer, and he's called Rat Tail because he's got this little rat tail ponytail. And they said how one of the members of the crew thought he looked like Elijah Wood. Well, when we were watching it before we listened to commentary, I said, hey, that guy looks like Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah. So looking at him again, I think, well, I can see both in there, you know?
Yeah.
He looks like a little bit a cross between both. But what do you guys think? Have you seen this actor? Do you think he's more Elijah Wood or more Daniel Radcliffe? Answers on a postcard, please.
Return of the Living Dead.
Right, yes, little note there. We have the actress Linnea Quigley, and she voices... Which character did she voice? I think it was the cop, wasn't it? No.
Reporter.
It's the reporter, that's right. Cop is somebody else. Yeah, so she does the voice of the reporter, and apparently she did such a good job on the voice. And the original actress actually thought it was her, because all these people had to voice these characters because they lost the soundtrack, didn't they, to the film? And so they've hired like suitable and appropriate people to try and voice this film and old school dub it, you know. And I always think of, when I think of Linnea Quigley, mainly I think of Return of the Living Dead. You know, that outstanding dance sequence she has in that was fantastic. And she's a scream queen. We've seen her in tons of horror films. Silent Night, Deadly Night, you know, with the ants. So it's really good to have her voicing the character in this one. Right, next.
Penitentiary.
Yes. So there's a couple of other films that have been released by Vinegar Syndrome, Penitentiary 1 and 2, and they both star Leon Isaac Kennedy, and he voices the policeman in this that, you know, kind of, he ends up working with John Liu, you know, against the gang and whatnot. So yeah, really nice that they got him in, and you know, we love those other films with him, and he was also, for those of you that follow Chuck Norris films, in Lone Wolf McQuade. So yeah, another good example of the excellent casting Vinegar Syndrome did on this.
Bloodfist, Whatever It Takes.
Right, that one is Donald Dragon Wilson, who I first learned of in Bloodfist, way back in the 80s, you know, when we had all the sort of Bloodsport style films. Bloodfist was Donald Dragon Wilson's take on it. And the other film that we mentioned there is released by Vinegar Syndrome. And I've got to say, Donald Dragon Wilson, he does a good job voicing John Liu. I think he, you know, he knew what he had to work with and he matched it up as good as you could, you know. And I used to watch a lot of Donald Dragon Wilson films, Out for Blood, Ring of Fire, all of that. You know, he's a lot of fun. He's a fun actor.
Tiger Claws.
And that is the cop, Cynthia Rothrock. And I'm sure a lot of you know out there, Vinegar Syndrome have released a Tiger Claws 1 to 3 box set, so it made sense that they went and got Cynthia Rothrock for the cop character in this, because I believe she's the only female that fights in this.
Yes.
She doesn't fight like Cynthia Rothrock, let's be clear on that, but the fact that they got, you know, Cynthia to voice his character, great, absolutely perfect.
Car and Chopper. These were the crazy stunts, weren't they?
Yeah.
So at one point, John Liu is sort of throws a rope thing to attach to.
Yeah, rope with a hook, you know.
Yeah.
Sort of ninja sort of weapon, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, which he just suddenly randomly had in his clothes. And yeah, I think it was the plutonium killer's car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he was being dragged along the road, and it shows it in some of the other, you know, the cutscenes and what have you, that he just had like a piece of board tied to his clothes that he was being dragged along. Not for all of it, I think for just a small take of the scene, because then they also had a trolley.
It's just like cardboard, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, crazy.
Absolutely insane. I had no idea that he did stunts like that. Yeah, when we saw it, I said, oh, that'd be trickery. I didn't realise he was actually being dragged. And yeah, the helicopter scene, that's pretty mental stunt as well. The big helicopter scene, you know, and I don't think John did all of that. We know he did a little bit because of, again, the outtakes, the no goods. He did do some of it, but there was a stuntman as well, just as I think he was stunt double for some of the acrobatics, which makes sense, you know, you're limited on time. You know, sometimes you need specialists to come in to do those moves.
Yeah. Kurtis Spieler.
Yes, as mentioned, Kurtis Spieler is the guy at Vinegar Syndrome. Thank you very much, Kurtis, for putting this together. We have a film that we never thought we'd have.
Yeah.
And it's been an absolute joy. And it's clear from his introduction, from his commentary, and the interview on the disc, how passionate he was about this project.
And the little booklet that comes with
Yes, and the booklet, yeah. Yeah, that was fantastic too. Yeah, absolutely a joy. What he has done on this is remarkable, you know. It's just an absolute incredible release. And all thanks to that guy.
Voyager 3.
Voyager 3, right, so obviously with having no sound on this film, there was no soundtrack. And they hired a group called Voyager 3 who do soundtracks to non-existent 1980s movies. So they make up these imaginary soundtracks in the 80s style, and they were contacted by Vinegar Syndrome to score this film and do the soundtrack. And Kurtis actually mentioned this in one of the extras and said, you know, listen to the soundtrack by itself, it's amazing. So, you know, I did as was told Kurtis, and I went on Spotify I found the soundtrack.
Found the soundtrack.
And I listened to the soundtrack.
You loved it, didn't you?
I loved it. You know, it really reminded me of Goblin.
Yes.
You know, that sort of music, and it fit this film fantastically. Gave it such an atmosphere. You know, such a fun, joyous atmosphere. You know, really contributed to the watch, I felt.
End credits.
Right, so at the end credits, they had a few scenes that weren't in the film. So they had some like dancing, some body popping, and I believe it's the end credits that has the only original song for the film. They managed to get hold of it. They acquired original song for the film, and they were playing over the end credits. So that was really, really nice. Alright, so the film itself, Jazz, what are you going to score it?
I'm going to score the film 7 out of 10.
Right, that's really good. You know what? I originally had said 6 out of 10.
Yes, you did, yeah. Which I was quite surprised about.
But having talked about this now together, I've got to agree with you. You know, I think just on pure enjoyment, it's worth more than the 6. I was judging it as, you know, filmmaking errors, etc., and I think that can't come into play with this film. They've done a marvellous job putting it back together, and I did enjoy it a lot, and just talking about it now has reminded me, so I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 too. Top job. Right, so now we've covered the film and give our scores for that, so we're going to have a little talk about the release itself, Vinegar Syndrome. And boy, believe us guys, this is one hell of a release. Just check out this cover art.
So it all comes in this really nice hard card case. Open it up.
I love New York Ninja.
Use this artwork done by.
There's a little name there.
Yeah.
Something dude, isn't it?
The Dude Design.
The Dude Designs. So
Really nice.
yeah, that artwork is lush. The box, it's kind of like a magnetic sort of shut there. With a little strap in to pull out stuff.
Yeah. It's inside.
Really, really nice.
It's really nice booklet. Kurtis Spieler. And it goes through about what they did, getting the film together, trying to find John Liu. Yeah, it's a really nice little book.
Yeah, it documents
Really
the whole
interesting.
experience that they went through, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It is very nice. I don't know if any of the rest of you like me out there, but oh man, that smells so good. I love the smell. Fresh ink on booklets. Yeah. There's a slip case with some more fantastic art on it. Those of you that love your ninja artwork, you're going to dig this. And on the back there, that is the plutonium killer. And then we're pleased to say we got some art from Kung Fu Bob O'Brien. Oh boy. We all love this. I know you guys love it. It's fantastic, and this is a piece I can only imagine he must have been passionate about it. Obviously a lot of work gone into that.
Yeah.
Fantastic job, Bob, as always. Love this cover a lot.
2 discs. Film with a commentary by Kurtis Spieler. And the other disc is got most of the special features on. I think there is a few features on the main film disc as well.
Yeah, it's ram-packed with extras. I mean, there is so much on this. And the deleted scenes, they must have had so many. And they were showing you scenes that weren't in the film. And there was like even whole fight scenes that had been omitted because of they couldn't figure out how to fit it in.
Yes.
Or they thought there was one bit where John jumps down and Kurtis was like, oh, he stumbled, so I couldn't put in that fight scene. And we watched it, and not to contradict, I mean, obviously Kurtis got a really good eye for this, but it didn't look like a stumble to us. We both thought we've just taken a step. It wasn't jarring to us, so we'd have, you know, perhaps included it, but
we've only seen it once or twice.
Yeah, we've seen it twice. Kurtis has watched it.
Studied it.
He's
over
obviously
and over.
a perfectionist, and I get that. but that was a particularly good fight scene. So we got it though. We got it on the extras. So it's fantastic that it's there. He did say there were some other fight scenes that he would have liked to have included, but he just couldn't, including that one that he couldn't get in. I had a little idea myself and said, there were so many times in the film where somebody picked up a newspaper and it said something about the New York Ninja. Now, how many films have we seen where the newspaper headlines spin and hits the screen? New York Ninja strikes again. I thought you could have thrown that at the screen and then shown a clip of this other fight scene and from another newspaper and a clip of another fight scene. Then you wouldn't have had to set it up to fit in the rest of the film.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But that makes me sound like I'm being a critic, and I'm not. I think as we've got it, it works really well. If you did it my way, you'd probably think, oh god, that doesn't fit this. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just greedy, and I did enjoy those fight scenes. Yeah, watch Kurtis's version, not mine. And some of the other extras, Shaz?
So we had the commentary track. We watched as well, didn't we? That was really good.
Yeah. There was some no goods.
Yes, there was also the extended making of documentary that we watched that was really interesting as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, they found a lot of the they found an actress that was in it. And the one that was the reporter.
Yeah.
It was interesting listening to her. It was interesting, listening to the group, Voyager 3. Did a fantastic job.
Yeah, there was a little piece on them, wasn't there?
Yeah, they all talk about their favourite ninja movies. Very happy to see they fall in line with me with the Shokasuki stuff. So, great choice, guys.
There was an interview with Kurtis, wasn't there?
That was really good again. Yeah. I mean,
there was also a sort of then and now.
Oh yeah.
Piece about New York, the locations that were filmed then and how they look now, and some had completely changed and some not really changed very much. So that was really interesting. I really enjoyed that bit.
The big thing was the cleanliness, all the graffiti that disappeared.
Yes.
That was remarkable. But that was really interesting actually. There's one bit like a helipad that's completely missing. It's just all water.
Yeah.
And another bit where it looked like a wasteland, and now it looked like a nice
really
posh
nice
park.
gardens.
Yeah. So the extras on this is second to none, folks. This, if you don't have this, but you have an interest in these type of films, you're a fan of John Liu. I know this isn't like Hong Kong film. He's a Taiwanese actor, Taiwanese low budget kung fu movies, but he did some films himself, released in Hong Kong. It's a great film. It's a beautiful release. Couldn't recommend it anymore. This release we're giving 5 stars. It's tremendous. Absolutely
5-star
tremendous.
plus.
Yeah. Yeah. If you've got any interest, get it while it lasts, because Vinegar Syndrome do sell out. I was looking at possibly getting Martial Law 1 and 2, but I discovered this sold out of that. So if there's anything you want there, guys, just be warned, it can disappear. So everyone, we really hope that you enjoyed this video. Hopefully as much as we enjoyed watching New York Ninja and covering it ourselves, we had an awful lot of fun with this one, and I'm kind of sad to let it go actually, but at least we've got the Blu-ray there for future purposes, because we will be revisiting this one. If you did enjoy this video, once again, please give us a like. It really does help us. It does help us to get noticed on YouTube. And if you do enjoy these videos, that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, because we know you've enjoyed what we've put out, and we know you like it, and we know what to make for you guys.
Yeah, that's it. It's really that simple. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. And hopefully, going forward, we can continue to make content that you like, grow the channel, and bring bigger and better projects to you guys, and all have a lot of fun together. Anybody wants to message us, you can leave a message in a comment below. We always get back to everyone. And you can also email us directly at hongkongblu-rays@gmail.com. That's that it? You think that's it, Shaz? Any last
That's it.
parting words? Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time. And remember, folks, be true and buy the blue.